are you undercharging? I want you to contemplate on this very important information so you too can make use of this. The salon pricing breakdown is what every professional needs to know. It's absolutely critical to know that you are running a profitable, sustainable business long term, not just for the short term. And I've been on a handful of coaching calls this week, and there's a common thread in these conversations, and that is a lot of salon owners are winging their prices, or they're comparing their prices to other salons. I want you to be able to price yourself with confidence and charge with a growth mindset and a self-belief mindset that you are worthy and you are able to charge for your knowledge, your expertise, your experience. And one lady actually said to me, I don't have much experience. And my comment to that is, you are the experience. You have life experience, regardless if you have 1 year of professional qualification or being qualified. You have life experience behind you that can bring to your clients. I know it's very different, but yet what people pay for is the confidence they see in you. We often miss that part, because if you go to a practitioner or a therapist, hairdresser, doctor, any professional, any therapist, any service provider, and they're not confident, my goodness, don't you feel, or if you've noticed, if they feel anxious or upset, or there's something not right about their energy, no matter if they've got 10 years experience or 5 years experience or 2 years experience, you don't want to pay for that service. You don't think it's valuable. Of course you want to pay for the service. The point is, you don't see the value in it. So a lot of the time our exchange from money to treatment is due to the value you receive from being with that person. And that can be life value, it can be professional value, it can be the combination of both. So please don't get confused with undercharging or comparing your prices to other clinics if you're using the same products or doing similar treatments or using the same devices or machines, because this is what today is all about: pricing with confidence and pricing on what it costs you to set up your business. So some of the key takeaways I'll be going through today is pricing isn't personal, it's a business strategy. That's one point I want to go over. And stop comparing your prices to others, because their business model, expenses and goals aren't yours. Another area I'd like to cover is your prices need to reflect your expertise, the results you deliver, and the experience you provide. Another area I want to accomplish today is know your numbers, and this is something that I go through with my paying coaching clients diligently every week. If you're guessing, it kills profit, because my coaching client, before I started coaching her, she was just winging her prices. She thought, I'm just going to charge $259 for that treatment because it sounds good, but the guesswork is killing her profit, because she is not considering all of her expenses and her expertise and her knowledge and her setup costs. Which moves me on to the fifth area I want to talk about today. Is this: I'm going to give you a simple formula that I teach that allows you to break down how to price yourself with confidence and with certainty. Because if you're not pricing for profit, you'll basically have a hobby, and we're not in business to have a hobby, and you're not in business to work for free. We need to know that you're covering your costs and creating impact, because the more money you're creating demonstrates to me the impact you're making. Because at the end of the day, pricing is freedom. It gives you time freedom. My goodness, it gives you the opportunity to have better education, to invest back into yourself. It enables you to have more product available and gives your clients an incredible experience. Are you ready to dive in? So you're not selling minutes or products, you're selling a transformation. And that's what I love, because you're taking your client from feeling and looking a certain way to going exponentially looking and feeling completely transformed. And that's what you're selling. So we needed to lean into and sell the idea of transformation, not time. So hopefully that makes sense. So the transformation, for example, could be clear skin, confidence, relaxation, an elevated experience. Because when you charge how you see what you offer, you charge how the price it is. So hopefully that makes more sense to you, because we have to completely understand that pricing reflects value, the transformation, your time, knowledge, expertise, experience, not just the time. And a lot of people think, oh, well, that takes 60 minutes, but they forget there's actually turnover time, there's consultation time, there's the time in between. So if we just charged on time, we're a bit lost. So we need to have our price reflecting on the transformation, the result basically. What is the end result that client will receive? Because that's what they're paying for. And we forget generally about that. We don't talk about the result enough. We get too caught up in all the other areas and forget about the transformation. So the second point that I wanted to talk about was stop comparing your prices to others, because their business model, expenses and goals aren't yours. And how true is that? So where I'm going with this is that we need to anchor in on the facts and not the feelings, because the feeling might be, I'm not worth it. And I've heard this a lot recently, and it's really alarming to me, because you are worth it. And we need to talk about not a mindset, but a shift in mindset. So it's shifting the frame to say that I am worth it, but those feelings are normal, but they're unreliable, because there's days when you feel amazing and you're on top of it and your confidence is shining and bright, and what it costs to do your treatments. The third point we are going to cover now is your price should reflect your expertise, the results you deliver, and the experience you provide. Let's pull that apart, because clients aren't just buying a service, they're investing in an outcome and your experience. And how wonderful is that they come in and experience what you have to offer. So that is the whole offering of your life experience, your knowledge, your toolkit that I call. It's like your toolkit of life that you bring into that treatment. It's not just that time. It's just not that treatment. You have a myriad of areas that you can use, which is wonderful and phenomenal. And that's what we need to lean into. They're investing in an outcome and an experience. So fundamentally, your clients are paying for the result and the transformation. So it always comes back down to the facts and not the feelings. So if we can look at the mindset shift and look at flipping the script of fear. So what if they won't pay? So that would be a bit scary, wouldn't it? What if they won't pay? What if I attract clients who value my expertise and happy to pay for it? So imagine that. So you've got this mindset shift. Who's going to pay for the increased price that when I put my prices up? Who's going to pay for this? Who's going to pay this amount of money for this service? Because you're actually putting yourself down and you're not crediting yourself enough to say people won't value what I offer. People don't value my services enough if it's priced at a certain point. Again, you're basing that on feelings and not on the facts. So we need to get very clear again on what it's costing you to run your business. If you're thinking, oh, people won't pay for that because whatever the feeling is, have a look at what you're actually saying. Have a look at what you're actually feeling and what comes after that because. And if we can flip it to, what if I could attract clients that value my expertise and happily pay for it? So we have to remind ourselves that the right clients respect professional knowledge and professional advice, who know their worth, their value, and are confident and certain in every aspect of what they do. So how does that feel about that one? Flipping the script on fear. We love that. Love to know how you're going with this one, because this is a big one. The fifth area I wanted to talk about today is the simple formula I teach on the total service cost. And what happens here is we need to understand this whole area of how I break down costs so you can run at a profitable and a sustainable business, so you can have more time to yourself and more freedom and not be burnt out and overwhelmed and exhausted by not understanding how much you need to charge based on facts, not just on your feelings, on facts. So the simple formula I teach is that once you know what it costs to run your business, so that includes your products, your labor, your expenses, any wages, paying yourself, profit for your business, and reinvestment. You get all your costs together and then divide it by how many hours you're working in your business. If you're going to cover your expenses, which includes utilities, you have to pay yourself, and then the profit. So one is all of your expenses. That's if you're paying rent, utilities, consumables, all of your expenses is one area. That's why you times it by 3, is because of that number one area. Then you need to pay yourself, and then you need to have a profit, so that profit can be reinvested back into your business so you can further educate yourself or upskill or up-level any area of your business where you would like to increase any productivity with products, services, devices, machinery, upgrade your marketing, upgrade your salon, upgrade your marketing, your actual environment. So because pricing is freedom and it allows you to pay yourself properly and have time off, so you can invest in better education and client experiences. So let's break this down a little further. So this is the pricing structure breakdown. Start with your actual service cost. So number one, your product costs, your consumables, so all your consumables from gloves, disposables. Second one you need to look at is your electricity and water, so your utilities, your labor, so your time, and fixed costs like rent and insurance. So that's number one. Number two, then like spas and hotels or people that do high-end facial treatments, you need to have your own discretion whether you times it by 3 or 4. So therefore, the second part is that you pay yourself and then you create a profit. A lot of salon owners aren't doing this and aren't aware of this. And this is a very business savvy way to run your business so it's sustainable, you can stay in the long term, and you actually have a lifestyle outside your business. Now, isn't that phenomenal? So are you familiar with this simple formula, the business breakdown pricing structure, where you start with all your actual costs and then you multiply? I originally said divide, but once you divide it by 3, you get to see your daily costs. But once you multiply it by 3 or 4, therefore that's how much you can see how much you need to pay yourself and the profit you need to create. So hopefully that's really clear, because it's really important that there's money left over that you can reinvest in your business for training and equipment and upgrades, because this is a very current way and a smart way and a sustainable pricing strategy. So you can be wise about running a business and be savvy about running your business, and it's really important to look at it like that. I'll just see how we're all going with this information, because if you're not dividing your costs by the days you work or the hours you work, you're not seeing what it costs you every day to open. But then once you've got all of your costs together, from your product costs, your consumables, your utilities, your labor, and your fixed costs meaning rent and insurance, multiply that by 3 or 4 depending on where you sit in the high-end or lower high-end bracket. So therefore, isn't it? If you're not pricing for profit, you're working for free. We're not running a hobby or a charity. And I was having a conversation with a client yesterday on a Zoom meeting, and she's, what happens when I look after my friend and we go way over time and I'm giving her lots of discounts? She gave her, I think, $80 off a skin scanning, skin analysis, and then there was a discount off a pack. And the thing is, your friends, yes, absolutely look after your friends and family, but you don't literally have to run yourself dry because they're friends and family. Yes, be generous and be all into generosity. That's why giving value all the time. That's why I'm here on a Saturday afternoon, because I love giving value. It's not always about price with value. It's your time, it's your knowledge, it's your expertise, and please don't forget that. So you don't necessarily have to always discount when it heavily discount when it comes to friends or family. You can offer a slightly better price, but don't discount everything, because you're still running a business that still costs you a lot of money each day, every day to run your business. We have to really look at that wisely and have firm boundaries about what you're willing to give and what you can give are two different things. You might want to give so much, but is it affordable really? And that's why this leads me on to how can we strengthen our self-belief around charging what you're worth? Because this came up a lot this week. Strengthening our belief around charging what you're worth. Because worth is subjective, but the way I work around this is, as I mentioned before, we have to base it on facts and not feelings, and understand that pricing reflects value, not just time, because you're not selling minutes or products. Of course, you are retailing, and you're not selling the product, you're selling the result, the transformation, and that is what they're paying for. And that is incredible, and that is worth paying for. If you know you can transform your client from you having skin conditions or whatever your specialty is to feeling absolutely and looking absolutely 100% incredibly beautiful and transformation, whether it's clear skin, confidence, how amazing they look, brighter, lighter complexions, more pro-aging, like they just feel and look lighter and brighter and softer. So there's lots of things that you can help people transform with, and this is what we need to see. When you change how you see what you offer, you will change how you will price what you offer. I find that really powerful. I'll say it again. When you change how you see what you offer, you will change how you price what you offer. I think that's amazing, because we need to know it to do it. We need to know our worth, know the transformation we're offering, know the results we're offering, and then you will change how you price your treatments and services. So it does come back to beauty's anchoring down in the facts and not the feelings, and that's what we need to base our prices on, is the facts, and stand in your certainty. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. That was the common thread, as being so certain. Once you know what it costs you to run your business, and then you times that by 3 or 4, you'll be able to pay yourself and create a profit. So what do you say to that? Pricing with confidence. We can easily flip the script on fear, and our mindset needs to shift, because that could offer so much, and no one else was doing what I was doing at the time, and giving the value and the service and the expertise that I was offering in the area. That's the difference. You have to stand out, because if we're just constantly just focused on hands-on and not doing a consultation, or not checking in with our clients, and not giving more value with our time, and not, if we're just focusing on the time and keeping that as a service in itself, we therefore miss the opportunity to charge for that, because it's a whole package. There could be an easy formula with just practicing it over and over again. So you can have more time with your family and your friends, and build a future, not just covering the cost of the day or the week, because your business deserves to be profitable, and because you deserve this. It's about thriving and not surviving. So I think it's really important to let's capsulate all of this today. What I've just gone over is, I charge this because it reflects the value I deliver, the expertise I provide, and the results for my clients. Wouldn't that be a mindset and a mind shift to take on? Do you get that feeling? Do you resonate with that? I charge this because it reflects the value I deliver, the experience I provide, and the results my clients receive. So that's one area to look at our mindset shift. Or you could look at it like this: I have a business that creates transformations, incredible results, and transformations are priceless. But I have created a fair and a profitable price for the work I do. So that insight gives us an understanding too that transformations are priceless. People will pay for a result time and time again. We see it all day, every day in our practice. So if you're undercharging, that means you're not going to have a profitable, sustainable business that builds an incredible future. For me to have weeks and weeks away from my hands-on business is because I had a bigger vision from the beginning. I knew I needed to put certain price structures in place to not only cover my costs and not only to have a profit, but to actually, where my clients can see that they value what I do and they value the transformations they receive from coming to me. That's the difference. It's the certainty they pay for. Because if you at all aren't in this space of feeling absolutely certain about your pricing, people will go somewhere else. People pay for confidence. That's what they want. That's why they come to you. You're the example. A bit of a big training, beauties. I hope this was very valuable and there's a lot to consider. So I just really wanted that to be an area where you can stop guessing your prices and charge with certainty, confidence and clarity, and not compare yourself to the salon in the same suburb or next door. Training I have done and upskilling from all those years ago, from the people, if you remember, Florence Barrett Hill and then Gay Wardle, and the continuous upskilling from Dr. Des Fernandez and Lance Satterfield and so many experts. It's just, besides the multiple diplomas and then the small courses on the side, and all the mindfulness and the meditation and the yoga and the product training, the ingredient training, all of this, each and every time you do a training, you have more knowledge, more experience, more expertise to add to your bow. And this is what increases your worth, your value, to give your clients the transformation and the results. So I really hope that this has been very valuable for you, and you've got a price structure now that you can go away with and break down and spend the time to actually do it, because a lot of people don't do this and they're falling short and fall back into old habits and just winging prices or comparing their prices. So please do it for. It's a different price structure because your business foundations and costs, setup costs, and your goals are very different to that place and salon. Beauties, I'm wishing you the best weekend. It is a bit of a big training. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've got some incredible freebies to give away. I feel like I'm giving all this extra value. It just feels like that time of year to be giving away so much. I have a flow sequence that is being so well received. It is the steps of when is the best point or highest benefit to the therapist and the client to receive information so you can sell minimum of 4 products a day, and also have a incredible training which I'm so proud of. It's costed a lot of time, money and energy to put this training together. It's a high-end training. It's absolutely free. I'll leave the link here. Once I switch off, I'll drop the link below. But it's how to discover to create a 10K week salon in your business. So the freebies will be here in a minute or so. But until next time, beauties, have a happy weekend no matter where you are around the world. I'd love to hear from you. Just drop me a line and hashtag replay if you're watching this back. And I'll have a fabulous weekend. Definitely will. I love a Sunday, and on Monday I'm celebrating 23 years of marriage. Very excited about that. And it's actually 30 years together. I cannot believe it. Unbelievable. So we're going to be doing something very fun. It's called Oz Foiling. Love a bit of an adventure. We're doing a silly experience where I can't quite explain it in its totality, but what it looks like, it's like you're on an electric surfboard. The business is called Oz Foiling, so OZ and then Foiling, Foiling, if you want to look it up. They're around Australia everywhere. Yes, and we've been going on electric surf. It's probably the easiest surfing I'll ever do. So I hope you've got something fabulous planned for your weekend as well, and feel free to re-watch this valuable training so you actually take it all in and reflect on just those points. It's really important that we're actually seeing if we are just charging because we think it's the right thing to do, or we're actually basing it on fact, because we work so intensely that we need to be charging accordingly. And I hope that's the message that you're going to walk away with, to figure out exactly what you need to be charging and to really believe that you're worth every cent and more, to charge a premium if you need to. It's just allowing yourself to charge that. So until next time, beauties, sending you lots of love, and here are my freebies. I'll get them to you right now. Bye for now.